Chapter 6. Cole's clothes felt damp and stiff when he picked them up from where he'd left them on the shoreline. As he struggled to pull them on, he chuckled. He couldn't quit thinking about the Circle Justice meetings. He still remembered how surprised the group had been when he had called his dad a liar. Every eye in the group had focused on his father, who turned red and stammered angrily. "We have devoted our lives to Cole. All you care about is you," Cole interrupted. "Look how you're dressed. Nobody else here is." "That's not true," protested his father. He grabbed Cole's arms roughly, but then let go. He glared at Cole and pointed the feather in his face. "You control your mouth, son, or you'll what?" Cole taunted. "Beat me?" Cole's father jumped to his feet. "I don't beat you, and you know that." His face flushed red. "I've given you swats when you've deserved them." The keeper stepped forward into the center of the circle and held up her hand, but Cole ignored her. "You're still lying," he shouted. "You're usually too drunk to know your own name." Cole knew these words guaranteed him a terrible beating the next time he was alone, but he still taunted his father with a smirk. He didn't plan on there being any next time. The first chance he had, he would run away. Again, the keeper held up her hand for order, but Cole's father raised his voice even louder. "I've given you every—" Nathaniel Blackwood reached up and pulled Cole's father forcefully back to his seat. The keeper stepped forward and held her hand out for the feather. "Please," she said firmly. The gentle calm had left her voice and face. Her chin was rigid. Embarrassed, Cole's father surrendered the feather. The keeper turned and spoke to the whole circle. "We must respect the feather. This symbolizes respect for others and respect for ourselves." As if handling a priceless gem, the keeper handed the feather carefully to Cole. "Now you may speak." Cole tried to be calm, but his voice shook and his face felt hot. "We aren't supposed to lie when we hold the feather, but my dad just lied. My parents don't have the time of day for me. I'm just in their way, especially since they split up. I bet my dad can't even tell you when my birthday is." Cole grabbed a deep breath to control himself. He turned to his mother and placed the feather in her lap. "Mom, tell them how Dad beats on me when he's drunk." Cole's mother dusted imaginary specks off her dress, then picked up the feather hesitantly. She opened her mouth to speak, but a quick glance at her husband brought a frightened look to her eyes. She quickly passed the feather on to Garvey without saying anything. Garvey held the feather and pursed his lips with a troubled stare. "I don't know how life gets so mixed up," he began. "Some juvenile delinquents become our most successful citizens, while others crowd our prisons. What's the difference?" He paused. "Cole has will and courage, but he also has ugly anger. So what do we do with him? Do any of us know what caused that anger? And what if those same events had happened to each of us? How would we have reacted?" He paused for an uncomfortably long moment. A muted murmur rippled around the circle. "Seriously," Garvey said, turning first to Peter, then to Cole. "I don't know how to heal emotional and physical damage. Scars run deep." Garvey stared intently at Cole's father, who sat unflinching. "I do know this. Cole isn't the only problem here tonight. He is only a symptom of a family and a community that is somehow broken down. If we can't find solutions, we all fail. We all share the guilt, and we all pay a terrible price." Nobody had anything more to say until the feather reached Peter's lawyer. The woman faced Cole directly. "We don't know all the reason for Cole's anger, but we do know he's out of control. Any solution found by this circle must protect society and make Cole totally responsible for his actions." She handed the feather to Peter's mother. Peter's mother also turned to look straight at Cole. Because of you, I have a son now who... Her voice broke. I have a son who has speech and coordination problems. He wakes up at night screaming with nightmares. 5 years, 10 years, even 100 years of jail can't change that. But never again should any other parent have to worry about this happening to their child. Not sending you to jail would be a huge mistake. Cole sat tight-lipped. The jail talk was getting old. If he was going to end up in jail anyway, he might as well have gone through normal justice and avoided all this circle baloney. Suddenly he wanted out of this place. If only there weren't a guard waiting in the hallway. Cole slouched low in his chair as the feather passed on to Peter. Peter gripped the feather with a tight fist and looked down at his lap. When a full minute had passed, the keeper walked around and placed her hand gently on his shoulder. Peter, would you like to tell us what you think would make things better again? Peter bit at his lip before speaking in a struggling, slurred voice. I think someone should smash Cole's head against the sidewalk so he knows how it feels. Uneasy glances followed Peter's comment. Even the keeper's voice sounded tense as she took the feather gently from Peter's hand and returned to her place in the circle. Tonight raw feelings have been exposed like plowed up ground, she said. But that's when you plant seeds. We now understand better the struggle we face and share the desire to find a solution. Let's stand and hold hands again. 3 hours after it began, the keeper closed the healing circle with a prayer. Cole stood, but refused to hold his parent's hand. He folded his arms defiantly across his chest, causing a break in the circle. On his left stood a liar who would beat him numb, and on his right stood a dressed-up puppet, afraid of her own shadow. Cole would not let them hold his hands and feel how sweaty they were. He would not let them pretend they loved him, especially his dad. If the keeper noticed Cole's actions, she did not show it. When the prayer was finished, Cole's parents and their lawyers immediately began putting on their coats to leave. Cole's guard entered the room and took hold of Cole's elbow, motioning toward the door. Cole jerked his arm free. I can walk by myself. With one swift movement, the guard pulled handcuffs from his belt and clipped Cole's wrist behind his back. Others from the circle turned to watch. What's that for? Cole asked loudly. You had your choice, the guard said. Before they could leave, Garvey walked up. You're not buying into this circle stuff, are you, champ? Cole sneered at Garvey. So now you read minds, huh? Garvey shook his head. Actions speak louder than words. Whose side are you on anyway? Cole said. Cole's father, standing nearby, overheard Cole's remark. Son, this isn't about choosing sides. This is about learning responsibility. Before Cole could answer, Garvey said, Yes, Mr. Matthews, this is about responsibility. By the way, when is your son's birthday? Cole's father gulped a quick breath, and his face grew flush. Oh, well, birthdays have never been a very big thing around our house, he stammered. I think it's the beginning of July sometime. Quickly he turned and left. Did you hear him lie tonight when he was holding the feather? Cole asked Garvey. He wasn't the only one, Garvey said, heading for the door.